me to the stream. Hello, and we are with live screenings. We're just trying a test right now. We're in the new library, the Winter Park Public Library, and I'm going to just make sure our audio is working and everything is working well. Here we go. And we're going to bring in one of the filmmakers right now and see if the audio is working. Rin, I'm going to bring you in right now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, Rin, we're doing a test now. You can hear me. I can hear you.
Yep.
We all can hear each other. What is your name again? Arif is here. He might ask some questions later on. This is just a test, and we'll be talking about The Ritual, which is your movie, later on. All right?
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you. Looking forward to it. All right. I think we're working.
I think it mutes your mic automatically once you play something. It looks like with sound.
Okay.
So as long as it's doing that, you should be just fine.
In that case, let's get started. Hello, my name is Banks, and I am the curator of Life Screenings International Short Film Festival. We have been virtual for the last 2 years. We are going to be now a live setting. Today's our first time at the Winter Park Public Library, and that's in Orlando, Florida, right outside of Orlando, Florida. I live in Claremont, and I've been, which is about 38 miles north of here. And I've been doing this virtually from my residency. We have 6 films. All the films are short films. They're under 15 minutes long. This month, we were submitted 18 films. We chose 6. Some of these were chosen from last month, too, so some of them are layovers if we don't have enough time or space. This is roughly an hour to an hour and a half segment. The way this works is we show the film, and then we bring in the filmmakers from wherever they are. The films we have are My Neighbor, My Flower. We have The Ritual. We have A Midwinter Night's Dream. We have Balance. We have The Energy of Water. And we have Every Street SLC. That's Salt Lake City. With that said, before we get started on our first film, just like to let you know that we are looking for films that show a world we want to live in. So these are all uplifting films, films that make us think, films that may be funny. There is actually a couple funny ones. Films that look at the world in a whole different way. So that's where we start. We look for films that show a world we want to live in. With that said, let's begin with our first film, and our first film is My Flower, My Neighbor, My Flower.
どうも。
どうも。
今日はお休みですか？
Sorry.
はい。そちらは
こう見えて仕事中です。
そうですか。
あ、どうも。
どうも。
さっき、いい匂いがするなと思ったんです。
え？
そちらの窓から。
お昼ご飯作る匂いですかね。
オムライス。
外れ。ナポリタンです。
そっか。匂い的には正解だったのにな。
そちらは何か食べました？
コンビニのサンドイッチを。
美味しかったですか？
普通ですね。
そうですか。
食べたいです、オムライス。
何言ってるんですか？
いえ、すみません。冗談です。どうも。
どうも。昨日遅くまで起きてました？
すいません。うるさかったですか？
いえ、別に。お仕事大変ですね。
そんなことないですよ。
やっぱりいいものですか？自宅でお仕事できるのって。
いいことばかりじゃないですよ。
どうして？
こないだ、そのせいで奥さんと喧嘩しちゃったんで。
どんな喧嘩ですか？
晩ご飯の時、作ってもらったご飯が目の前にあるのに、僕がメールを返したりしていて、なかなかご飯を食べようとしなかったから。
それは良くないですね。
はい。でも仕方がないと思いませんか？仕事なら。
仕方がないと思います。
でしょ？
結婚してようが、結局は他人同士ですもん。ダメになってしまったのなら、仕方がないことだと思います。
そうかもしれませんね。
はーい。
届け物です。
はい。どうも。
どうも。
昨日、こんなものが届いたんです。
ねえ。あなたに送りました。
何ですか？
今までのお礼です。
何ですか？今までって。
この家出ていくことになるかもしれないと、ふと思ったので。
本当に？私は嫌です。私はね、思うんです。仕方のないこともあるかと思うんですけどね。
ね。
私は今、出来たての一番おいしい時のご飯をあなたに食べてもらいたいって思ってます。
そちら、今日もいい匂いがしますね。
はい。
この匂いは、ナポリタンだ。
いいえ。
食べたいな。
今すぐならいいですよ。
今ですか？
はい。今すぐ。
わかりました。
どうも。
どうも。
And that one, My Neighbor, My Flower, was actually from Japan. The films that we bring in are from all over the world. In fact, we are on with Film Freeway, which is basically a hub for filmmakers and for film directors, filmmakers, film directors, and also film festival directors like myself, curators. Live Screening's been around for 5 years now. We have shown over, this is a monthly screening, so we've shown over about 300 films. And usually we show between 6 and maybe 9 films, depending on the amount of time that we have. There's also a 1-minute film festival that Life Screenings does, and it's usually 4 times a year. So with that said, let's move on to our next film. Our next film is called The Ritual, and we do have some of the filmmakers that we'll get to meet after that. So enjoy. This is called The Ritual.
Do you want a PB&J? Hey, what the hell are you doing in my kitchen?
Oh, I'm just trying to summon a demon. Well, you know that laundry that's been piling up?
Yeah?
Well, I'm trying to get someone else to do it for me. So I'm summoning a demon.
You're summoning a demon to help you do your laundry.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a bit extreme for something you could get done in like an hour?
Haven't you heard the expression?
What expression?
Okay, so the other day I was at the store and I overheard someone referring to Ryan Reynolds as a demon in the sheets. So, got me thinking. That expression had to have come from somewhere. So I thought, hey, if demons are so good at doing bedding, I'm sure they'd do an amazing job with my laundry.
If you really wanted someone just as soulless to do your laundry, I'm pretty sure one of the lawyers from down the street will work for a pretty penny if you just asked.
But that's the point. Why spend a single cent on one of them when I could have a trusty demon lad do it and for free?
All right, then fine. What's the deal with the book?
Huh. That's where I've learned all the chants from. You know, there's a couple 100,000 archaic chants for different demons. Pretty much one for anything you could ever need. Have you heard of this guy? Zuckerberg? For use when you want to spy on a successful ex-girlfriend and ruin your night. That's oddly specific.
For real? Can I see that for a second?
Dude!
Knock it off. I don't need this tonight.
I have to return this to the library. They're gonna kill me if it comes back looking like this. I'm already so close to losing my library card from last time.
Maybe. If you didn't pull a stunt like this every week, you wouldn't have these problems. I want one weekend. Just one weekend where I get to come home and relax without needing to worry about... Is that goat blood on my table? Where did
I'll
you
have
go?
it cleaned up, I promise. Just one quick summon, and this place is gonna look the best it's ever been.
I guarantee you, no demon out there is capable enough to tackle that monstrosity you call laundry. You're just making a mess of my kitchen and setting up the ingredients to a house fire. What?
I don't know, just seems like making a PB&J without any PB or J might not be so easy. Unless, of course, you just wanted to eat some white bread.
Yeah? What if I did?
Well, that's up to you. But if you'd like, I can ask for a sandwich or two on top of the laundry request.
Can you make sure they cut off the crust?
Sure thing, Chicken Wang.
So, what do I need to do?
All right. Repeat after me. In nomine Satanis compotentia inferni porta inferni aperta.
In nomine cum potential in inferno portal
It'll do.
inferno portion.
In nomine
In nomine
Satanis compotentia inferni porta inferni aperta. In nomine Satan. Hey dude, can you help me with my laundry? It's been really piling up and I could use an extra hand. I'm gonna go do my laundry.
You're unmuted. Or you're muted.
There we go. Hey, Ren.
Hello.
You are the filmmaker, correct?
Yes.
And where are you right now? So can you tell me where you are physically right now?
Oh, physically, I'm in a sound booth at my school.
Which is where? Where is that?
Columbus College of Art and Design.
Ohio?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Now, you are the filmmaker, the director. I'm going to bring in your cast and crew in just a minute, but I want to just get some things set first. You are in college. You directed it, wrote it. What did you do with this project?
Yes, I mainly directed it. I also helped my friend Bradley to write it as well. It was a really big group project for one of our classes we had. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And what year are you in college?
Freshman.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is this your first film?
Yeah, my first big film.
All right. Well, let's bring Bradley in right now. And let's since he helped you write it. Hey, Bradley.
Oh.
Oh, wow. What a beautiful film. I usually don't show scary films, and this was not scary. It was actually extremely funny. You all did a great job, by the way. Where did you come up with this idea? And we'll go with you, Bradley, of getting your laundry done by a demon.
Yeah, I've always been interested in taking mundane situations and pushing them to be as crazy as possible. So I thought, what is something that nobody likes to do? And it's laundry. And how far would some crazy person take it to get it done without putting any effort in?
And it looks like you have quite a crew. I mean, Rin was the director. Bradley, you helped write it. Was this a class project of 5 or 6 of you, or what?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Rin.
Yeah, it was 5 of us. And then we also had our 2 actors. So in total, it was 7 people.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to bring Olivia in next. And Olivia is, what did she do? In fact, you know what? I'm going to ask Olivia what she did. Hello, Olivia.
Hi, I produced this, so I kind of organized everything, got everyone together, did a little bit of script supervision, assistant directing things.
So as the producer, and this is a class, and what was the name of the class, Olivia, that you took?
So this was actually just the introduction to film class. So this is the first Class 4 film students at CCAD where we all get to meet each other and collaborate for the first time.
And how long did this project take to come to fruition from, I guess, writing it or coming together, writing it to finishing it?
So, I mean, I don't know if you'd want to talk to Ren and Bradley about this, but it started actually as just a short story. In our class, we kind of split up into these groups and came up with these short story ideas just centered around a specific conflict. Then that grew into the screenplay. And then we split off into kind of bigger groups and grouped together. And I knew I wanted to work on the ritual. So I hopped on their project. I was obsessed with it for a little while. Yeah, so it was over the course of pretty much like most of the semester.
I see. I'm going to bring in Avery, and Avery, you can explain what you were a part of this. Hi, Avery.
Hi, yeah, I just mainly like did the lighting for it, and it was kind of hard because it's such a small group. So like everyone was kind of doing everything, if that makes sense.
That definitely does make sense. So you were the grip, the lighting, anything that they need, turning on and off the lights. Were you also in charge of the magnets on the refrigerator too?
We all kind of worked together on that kind of stuff. And I did some of the audio. Like we all kind of just had to try to figure out how to split everything up.
Okay. Now Bradley, you wrote it, and you wrote it with Ren. So all the punchlines, who came up with the punchlines? Did somebody come up with the setup and then the other person was a punchline, or what was it, Ren or Bradley?
Yeah, it was a bit back and forth. Bradley did do most of like the dialogue type jokes. I came up with like the origami paper crane from the book. Yeah.
Yes, I do have that here. I love the Zuckerberg reference. I love the origami.
Yeah.
I love the whole goat blood reference in there too. Who else is in your group that I have not brought in yet?
Dalton Weber.
Yeah,
Dalton.
I'm not sure if he was able to make it today, but he
Yeah.
was the DP or he was cameraman.
Okay.
So
He is waiting. Let's
There you go.
Are you there?
Hello?
Hey, Dalton. You were one of the actors, correct?
No, I was doing the camera.
Oh, okay. All right. How many total were in your project here?
As in, cameras, just one.
No, I mean in total. Actors, everybody.
I would say about 9-10 people.
Oh, nice. Have I gotten all of you all in so far, Ren? I guess.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to go to you, Ren. What is your next project that you have set up?
Well, like big budget type films, I don't know. But right now for one of my classes, I'm working on like a music video.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, once you get into live screenings, the fee is waived from here on out. So any films that you make, by all means, send them to me, and I'd love to see if I can show them here. Also, I do have a 1-minute film festival that's up 4 times a year, so look for that on live screenings, if you will. We do have somebody in the audience, and it is Arif. Arif is here. Arif, do you have a question for the crew?
Yeah, just who has been in charge of editing the film, and how long actually has he been editing?
The question was who was the editor?
That was me.
Oh wow, and what did you use in the editing? What kind of editing software?
I used Premiere Pro for this, and then bounced between like Audition and After Effects for small visual tweaks.
Right. I did see some Bill and Ted's Adventure in there a little bit. I kind of felt that was going on. Arif, do you have another question? No, that's it. Thank you all so much. Continue doing what you're doing, and good luck with this film going out to all the festivals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. We'll see you later. Wow. What a let's make sure we get everybody off there. Ren, where are you? There we go. and Avery. Wow. These are the kind of films we're looking for. I mean, comedies are always welcome. With that said, let's get started with our next film. And our next film, our third film of 6, and this is A Midwinter Night's Dream. I show films that are animated films, which is the one you're going to be seeing now, documentaries. We have one coming a little bit later. The whole spectrum of films we like to show. So this one's animated, and we have the filmmaker that will be coming on. Enjoy. And that was filmmaker Mike Ryan, and I do have him ready to come in. Hello, Mike.
Hi,
sure I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Thank you so much for inviting me and for including my film to a film festival. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, Mike. Oh, what a beautiful piece. What a lovely, heartwarming piece. I loved that you went from pencil to color to pencil to slow down. I mean, it was actually an education for me on what goes into your animated films. So,
Oh, yeah.
so Mike, where are you right now? Where are you physically right now?
Oh, where am I now? I'm actually at home in Central Florida.
Oh, wow. You're
Yeah.
right down the street. You could have shown up at the library and sitting next to a reef and myself. I didn't know that. So where is this? Where did this project come from? Is it school? Is it your own or what?
Oh, on my own actually. So where did this film come from? It came about 2 years ago to this month actually. The pandemic had just started and I needed something to keep myself focused and to take advantage of the time that I had. So I started this film, which initially began as a series of animation classes I would be teaching on Skillshare, and eventually it would evolve into its very own thing, changing from one form to another before finally finding itself over the course of 2 years.
Nice, nice. Now, are you I mean, you are an animator. This film is animated. Did you learn animation, or is this something you self-taught yourself?
I would say it was both. Like, I started animating 15 years ago back in high school, and I would find animation books that would help me along the way. And eventually, when I went to UCF, I was majoring in the experimental animation program under Scott Hall, and I learned a lot more about the process and the medium. And since I've graduated back in 2014, I've continued to work in my craft, improve my work, continue to churn out more animation, more short films.
Nice. I love the dancing, the whole dancing bit. And what was the most difficult part of this film for you?
Oh, there were so many difficult parts. I would say the most difficult part was learning how to apply 2D rigging in conjunction with my hand-drawn and paperless animation. So, just for context, in all my previous films, I would individually ink and paint the characters and the objects, and that would be very time-consuming, especially if you're just one person doing it. With 2D rigging, it's advanced to the point that you can actually use it alongside your hand-drawn and paperless animation through the form of, and this is where it gets technical, it's evolved where you can actually make 360-degree 2D rig maquettes of your characters through Toon Boom Harmony. So I use those maquettes to match up with my original pencil test frame by frame, so that way it can serve as both the ink and paint and cleanup process.
Wow, that's above my my head up here.
Yeah.
I mean,
it took a long time for me to get a grasp of that, because as I was making this film, I was learning about it at the same time. So it was like juggling a lot of hats at the same time.
And what was the reasoning behind going from drawings to the actual color to back to slow motion drawings? Did you deliberately want to make the film that way, or was there another reason?
On why it would go from pencil drawings to the color animation?
Correct.
Oh, because at the time I was still working on those scenes, and some of these scenes take a long time to make, so I had to make a decision to keep some scenes, even if they're non-color, I would keep it in for the time being until I got a chance to complete them.
I really enjoyed that dichotomy of drawing and color. I just felt I feel that it is a great storytelling technique, personally. Arif, do you have any questions?
Just wanted to know how long actually does it take to make, or like how long pre-production and how long actual production?
So the question is, how long does it take to make this in the production quality, to produce the entire thing? Like what we just saw now is a 2-year stint, correct?
Yeah, correct. Two years,
And-
that's correct.
And to completely finish it out, or is it finished? Mike, is it a finished product now?
Well, I'm actually still working on it, and I intend to finish it, this year. That's my goal.
Okay, so we're looking at a 3-minute film, which is your film, and it's going to take you about 3 years to finish 3 minutes. Correct.
I wouldn't say 3 more years. I would say this year will be done.
Oh, okay. 3 minutes of the film, which is your entire film, takes 3 years to make. So it's about a minute a year, correct?
I would say, yeah, especially if you're learning how to apply a new process like 2D rigging into the animation process, yeah.
And now that you know it, it's going to be quicker, correct?
Oh, yes, correct. Like once I got the hang of it, once I was able to create the maquettes and how I was able to understand the process better, I was able to complete the scenes a lot more quicker. since over the course of 2 years, it's
Right,
actually gone
right.
through 3 versions, and this is the 3rd version.
Nice, nice. Mike, thank you so much for submitting the film. Beautiful piece of work.
Well,
Keep creating, and by all means, send in anything you have.
I will, and thank you so much again for inviting me and for including my film to your film festival. Thank you again.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. We'll see you later. Keep creating. That was Mike Ryan here in Central Florida. I did not know that until he told me just now. A Midwinter Night's Dream, animated. I really enjoyed the dichotomy of it. Moving right along, our next film, and like I said, these films come from all over the world. The next film is A Dream, and it's Arin Adesky, and it is called Dream. Enjoy. We're having some difficult issues right here. Oh, here we go. It's called Balance. I'm sorry. This is called Balance.
Isn't it irony? The things that inspire me, they make me bleed so profusely. I got everything I need, time and space to think and breathe. What does it mean when cash grows on trees? Existence, superposition, life's all about contradiction, yin and yang, fluidity and things. I'm me, I'm God, I'm everything, I'm my own reason why I sing, and so are you understanding? I know you think this shit is easy for you, but not so much for me. But I'll still ride, that's just the risk I'll take. I know you see me acting sleazy, I'm working on it, take it easy. I'll figure it all out before I break. If I should die before I wake, oh please do not resuscitate. I know I didn't live my life in vain. This music shit's a piece of cake. The rest of my life's in a state of chaos, but I know I'll be okay. Existing superposition, life's all about contradiction. In the name fluidity and I'm getting everything, my own reason why I sing. And so are you understanding?
That was Balance. The filmmaker is not with me here right now. However, let's move on. Before we move on, Life Screenings is here on a monthly basis. We go through not Without a Box, that's the old one. Film Freeway is where we find our films, we screen them, and we show them, like I said, between 6 and 9. And we do also 1-minute film festivals. With that said, let's move on to our next film, our 5th film. And the 5th film is, let me just check to make sure. Yes, this one came in last month. It's called The Energy of Water. And Jennifer Jordan is the filmmaker. She's not with us. However, at our last film today, we will have the filmmakers here. It's called The Energy of Water, and enjoy.
Having this huge epiphany of another level of awakening, or this other level of spontaneous, like just listening to my heart that's saying, yeah, I know you made it to this step, but you got to get down there.
Time in nature has a power to restore people to their original elemental configuration.
I was sitting in this little bowl and I had this really huge, peaceful moment and was saying the phrase of I am. And I kept repeating that over and over and over and over again. And I had a sense of remembering who I am.
We all get altered by our day-to-day life in the modern world through exposure to electronics and highways, chemicals, pollution, and a busier lifestyle than our ancestors.
Having this like huge epiphany of like another level of like awakening, from like skipping through paths, and then all of a sudden I go and see this enormous, beautiful waterfall.
We know that water holds vibration. There have been people that have proven that that's true. And so if we study the ancient wisdom traditions, we discover that there were a lot of prayers and intentions that were given to water. And that water is a messenger.
And so I'm trying to find my way to get across. And all of a sudden, there it goes. I try to toss the bag across. It doesn't fully make it all the way over. And it starts drifting in the river. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be knee high. You're going to be good to go. And I start walking, and all of a sudden I slip. And then I start drifting into the river. And I'm like, there's no traction. I have like a short second of freaking out. So then I start using my arms, and I triangulate, football coming in here, triangulate where the bag is floating down the river, intercept it, grab onto a rock, and I'm like, all right, I'm safe. So then I'm sliding in there, and there are a couple of huge currents just pushing, and I'm like leaning what would seem like climbing across, and I just feel like the biggest little boy. So I'm listening to my whole heart, and I'm like, we're gonna find a way.
If I tell you how beautiful you are and how much I care about you, what a wonderful being you are, the water in your body will respond to that, and it'll be like, thank you. On the converse, if I say bad things, then your water goes, and you don't feel so good. Well, the planet is that way as well, so it's important to have reverence and honor toward all our water bodies, the streams, the springs, the rivers, the lakes, the snow, the rain. We should all honor water as being sacred so that it can convey those kind of energetics in its movement to other places and other people.
I'm sitting on this rock, and I'm just facing this wall of just enormous energy and light and cleansing, and there aren't words to describe the emotions that were flowing through me. And it was just, again, this little boy, this innocence that was like, you love me.
Clean, pure water. It's like crystal. It has the ability to absorb and reflect the very highest energies of the sun and the cosmos and the earth itself, trees.
I had this moment, and I turn around, and my back is to it, and then more just joy was like hitting the backside of me, and I just couldn't help but smile. And then I began to cry, and it was like this enormous release of being like, yeah, this is like life, man. Like, if you just listen, know that there are things that are going to be scary as you're journeying across this enormous wall, but this wall is here to help you. So just trust and let go, and that was what this river kept embodying, just jumping in the water, not worrying so much about the clothes, and not worrying about the shoes, and not worrying about anything of this world in essence, and just trusting the bigger picture. And then I began to cry, and as that released again, I went back to this overwhelming feeling of joy. And with this joy, I just like sat and I became warm again.
When a person has that kind of water available and takes it into their body, then there's an opportunity for the cells of the body not only to rehydrate, but to actually move toxins out of the body and to be replenished with that good energetics.
The heat came like right underneath me, all the way through the top of my head. And I just saw these spirals, and it was so much warmth, and I just felt again cradled to know that I'm safe. And then something was like, it's time to go. And then I got up. I came across, and it was just as scary in a different way.
We all came from the natural forces. Many thousands of generations before us lived in complete harmony with the elements, like a pure prism that you cast sunlight into will give you a perfect rainbow.
I'm walking, I'm like, I'm gonna find staff as I'm walking back. Staff's gonna appear, and there it was, just 3 steps in, pick it up, and again, getting across the river. And I just kept saying, I know I'm safe, and I'm stuck in the middle of the river, not knowing how to make the next step. Like, here's this massive current, like, not sure what to feel, and just again, toss the bag, toss the staff, and trust. Each time I was challenged with fear, instant fear, because I don't know what's down the rest of the river. I can flow off, and the second I let go, I'm just smiling through the whole thing, and again, I came out on the other side, like just totally transformed. Recognizing what's within us as a message and as a tool, and then here is releasing of the emotional and letting go of the physical as you elevate and raise your vibration. And many times being faced with emotions, fear, and letting go, you know, what I think might happen in any type of anxiety or fear or depression. Just take it across instead of that transformation and sit at the foot of this amazing wall. Just this amazing wall to then be cleansed of such emotions. I feel like I would say a completely different person, but it's like even trying to put it into the being itself, just like a spirit. I feel like a different spirit is within.
Our ancestors utilized water and earth for growing food, and fire for cooking food and staying warm. They understood the incredible healing power of pure air and oxygen as we know it now. They realized that the substratum of all this is this amazing and beautiful force that holds all things together. The mind inside matter. Mother Nature, as many people will call it.
Like I broke free from old paradigm the way I was, and just this new direction. And this is just a couple of days in Shasta, you know. And again, there just aren't words. You just emotions. It's a lot of emotions.
We have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to reach out and communicate with one another and share all these amazing healing modalities and elevate the vibration and work together to restore harmony on this planet.
Really. I love you all a lot, a lot. I may not know you, but I know you. And I love you. And if you don't feel that love, I just want you to know I love you. It's around you, I promise. I've been there before, where you feel like there's nothing, and you think there's no point. And the second you surrender that, it's fucking awesome.
Damn.
Y'all are loved, man. It's so cool. So much.
And that was The Energy of Water, Jennifer Jordan, filmmaker, with that one. Wow. That one came in last month. What a powerful piece. Moving right along, we're up to our last film, and I do have the filmmakers afterwards. This film is from Salt Lake City, and hopefully I'm not giving it away. It is called Every Street SS LLC, and the filmmakers will be with us right after this. So enjoy. This is Every Street SL.
Streets are one of those few elements that are universal in a city. They're literally everywhere. They're in, rich neighborhoods or underserved communities. They're in urban centers as well as rural areas. And so if you're able to run every street, you get the opportunity to see all of the city. It's one of those few opportunities to do so.
One man claims to have now run on every street in Salt Lake City. Bryant Heath is his name, and he set a goal for himself at the beginning of this year, starting with the Sugar House Park area on January 2nd. He's now run across the entire city, from neighborhoods along the Wasatch Front eastward to the areas past the city's airport on the west.
Hi, I'm Bryant Heath. In 2020, I ran all the streets of Salt Lake City. I like to go running for two reasons. I like the simplicity, how easy it is to go running. What do you need? All you need is a pair of running shoes and maybe some shorts, and you just go out there. The idea that, we're in a very technologically dense time, and so you seem to be always connected, and, there's all these different things vying for your attention. That's why I like running so much, is because you can kind of deconnect. You can go off and kind of take a little bit more agency in your life and go explore. If you want to turn left, you can turn left. You want to run for 4 miles, run for 4 miles. You want to go for 14 miles, go for 14 miles. It's you making all the decisions, which it's very powerful. So with driving, you're kind of concentrated getting from point A to point B. And you're only really observing anything that's getting in your way between going from point A to point B. And so you kind of have blinders on. You don't really look around or notice anything. You might notice the guy who cut you off, and that's it. But whenever you're actually running through the neighborhood, you have the time. You can, move your head left and right and look and see, oh, there's, beautiful garden over here, or there's a mural over there, or a statue over here. And you kind of notice these things a lot more often. I first had the idea in about December 2019. I was kind of on Google Maps looking for a place to eat, and I was just kind of hunting around, zooming around, in and out. And then I just kind of had this aha moment, this dawning that I haven't really been to much of the city. As a whole, I probably hadn't been to about 75% of the entire city. And this was after living here for 10 years. So I thought that was kind of a travesty. And I figured maybe this would be a good project to pair my love of running with maybe exploring the city a lot more. Originally, the project's idea was conceived to kind of be a New Year's resolution, to explore the city more, maybe stick to my running a little bit more frequently. But after the pandemic hit, come March, everything took on a different sort of meaning, To be honest, at that point, the running was more of a reprieve to the pandemic. I could get out into the open, kind of clear my head about all the craziness that was happening around. But even then, it wasn't quite fully a reprieve, because you had these constant reminders. I'd pass a playground and they would have yellow tape across the equipment. I tried to run the streets near the VA hospital, and I wasn't allowed on site because they were only letting on staff and patients. I would see a lot more runners because the gyms were closed, and less vehicle traffic because no one had anywhere to go. You kind of see these big numbers, like 1,000 miles or, 200,000 people live in Salt Lake. And before the project, they were just numbers. You didn't have any appreciation of what that meant. But after running past where every single one of those 200,000 people live, where they work, where they shop, where they eat, you get a better appreciation of the scale of the city and the magnitude of what some of these large numbers mean. The areas that I liked the most was actually the west side. This was an area that prior to the project, I didn't necessarily go that often to. I could probably count on two hands the number of times I spent, west of the interstate, which looking back is a bit of a travesty in my opinion. Whenever I first arrived here in Salt Lake, of course, I didn't know anything about anywhere, to be honest. And then so you wind up, just having casual conversations with people, maybe looking up some stuff online. And it's a little sad just how pervasive some of these stereotypes are about certain communities and certain areas. And I feel like they just kind of fester, without people exploring to see what it actually is living in certain places. That's another thing I learned through this project was how we all just kind of normally or naturally just live in our bubble. It's pretty powerful to think about, like, if you can just go outside it for a little bit, to go into a different area. And with me, it was superficially. I would just run through a community, but that was just enough to have a appreciation and a different perspective of what others might have to be going through. This particular project was very earth-shattering in the sense that now I have at least a geographical sense of what it might be like to live in all sorts of neighborhoods around the city. And after running all the streets over in Rose Park, and Bear Park, and Poplar Grove, and Glendale, you learn that it's all incorrect, basically. And it's a shame that I let these stereotypes kind of influence, where I wanted to go in the city, because they have amazing parks. They have the amazing Jordan River Trail. They have, quaint shopping centers and excellent restaurants. It's a bit of a hidden gem, and I think that more people should explore that area for sure. It is a very diverse community. All these neighborhoods bring their own character. The best example would be thinking of 700 West over on the west side. Within a span of about a half a mile, you have a Buddhist temple. You have a building for the Islamic Society of Bosniaks. You have the Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church. You have a historic ward. You have a Tongan church, all within half a mile of each other. All these different communities all coming together in one location. I feel like that's a microcosm of the city as a whole. Of course, each neighborhood has its distinct flavor and its differences. But what surprised me the most is kind of seeing how much we all have in common. Like in any neighborhood, you will see, people outside gardening. In any neighborhood, you'll see kids just playing and running through sprinklers, or you might see people just working on their cars and trucks. It doesn't matter if you're in the Avenues or in the East Bench or in Sugar House or out in Rose Park or West Point. All these things are kind of, you start seeing over and over and over again, these situations and scenarios. And it just got me thinking about how much, us as people just have in common with one another, Whenever you think about your own personal identity, it's kind of composed of a lot of things. You have like your work self, you have your family self, you have yourself that, you interact with your friends with. And those are all just faces to your identity, and collectively they make up who you are. And I feel like neighborhoods are the same. You have each and every neighborhood is just a different face of what the city actually is. And so, the Rose Park is one face, the East Bench or the Avenues is another face, but collectively they make the city. And this is why I feel like Salt Lake City, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Wow, what a great film. I have the two filmmakers. Corey, I'm going to bring you in first. Make sure we can hear you. Hello, Corey.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let's bring in Parker too.
If we have to.
Am I audible as well?
We can hear you. So you two have the same last name. Parker, why don't you tell us why you have the same last name?
Well, we are brothers, not lovers. So that is why. I don't know if you can tell also just from facial structure and facial hair pattern growth. It's a hereditary thing.
Well, you both are wearing a hat, so yeah, I can see this. Are you two twins? Are you twins, or are you just brothers?
No, it's just an unfortunate coincidence,
Okay. Corey, Parker, how did you find Bryant? Where did he come from?
That's a great question. I'm a big Reddit user, and Bryant was kind of posting his journey on Reddit as he was going, and we noticed, that there's kind of a big push when he was finishing, and we about a year ago now, we're like, oh, we should start making some films about our community, and we're like, what is like someone who's seen every single side of the community is this guy. We should really talk to him, and then we were just impressed with him and his scale of seeing and understanding the city.
Yeah, what a character. So Parker, what did you do in this film? What was your role?
I co-directed, right? And in as much as you're working on a very small production with a limited crew, you actually find yourself doing a lot of things. So I worked really diligently on the script, be able to kind of pull out a lot of the thematic points of finding areas of your respective city. Obviously, in this setting, it was Salt Lake City, but wherever you're from, whoever's listening to this, and is on this call, you live in a city, right? And in each city that exists across the United States, across the world, there are quote unquote bad parts. And we often label these parts simply because of their zip code or their demographic makeup. And this film, I think we were able to pull out a whole lot of kind of meaning in terms of exploring those areas and breaking down those stereotypes and fleshing out that kind of thematic point. I feel like I had a healthy hand in along with Corey.
Corey, you want to add to that?
Well, I think Parker kind of nailed it on the head there. It's funny because there are so many places within each city that my partner and I were looking for a place to buy, and so many people were, oh, don't look past west of 7th and oh, don't even look in Rose Park in those areas, and that's when I realized, oh wow, we do have a lot of biases in our communities. And when we looked at particular places in those areas, we were like, this is the most like gorgeous and welcoming communities. And so that's kind of to what Parker is talking about, a huge element of what we wanted to show.
Wow. And I did like, I really liked the community, and I don't know the exact words that Bryant used, but the streets create the community. Parker, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, these streets, they're egalitarian in their own way. They're publicly funded spaces where we can be ourselves and express ourselves. And there's beauty to that, right? And so going forward, we have to ensure that the infrastructure that we build around our cities are people-based and not vehicular, based. And we can create healthy, vibrant communities that are fair and free for all.
So I'm gonna go to you, Corey, next. What was the impact on this movie, creating this movie, on you? How did it change you?
Sure. Well, for one thing, I kind of understood what streets mean to people. You know, like I occasionally run. I'm definitely not like Bryant, but I kind of realized, the impact of hopping on Google Maps and creating a little loop so you can get your mileage in versus, oh, I haven't been in this area before. I don't know, and I don't understand this area as well as I should. And being part of the city and understanding the makeup of the city means that I need to participate in my community and I need to be in these areas if I really want to understand. And knowing that streets are one of the most like foundational things that connect and are these like through points to all of these neighborhoods really meant a lot to me and something that Bryant really helped me see.
I'm gonna piggyback on that, Corey, and that is, you said participate in community. Wow. Do we participate in community? And tell me whatever you think. There's no wrong answers. Do we participate in the community by just being in the community, or do we participate by actually intentionally living in the community?
That's a fantastic question. I do think that there's varying levels, and I know Parker can probably speak really eloquently to this too. But to kind of what he was talking about, how each neighborhood it represents a different face of the city, and as a collective, we make up what everything is, and you're only as strong as your most in need neighborhood, and so together to participate in a community means to lift where you stand and represent your area as best as that you can.
All right, Parker, you want to take both of those questions?
Yeah, well, I think ultimately cities are built and environments are built around the people that live there. And if you walk around, you go to a national monument or a state monument or city monument, you explore these areas, these hidden niche areas, you gain an appreciation for where you are. And that takes initiative, right? That takes a certain amount of courage to venture where you haven't been before and get out of that comfort zone that you've kind of built around yourself. We all know the feeling. We know what it feels like. And I think the beautiful thing is documentarians is that you learn more from your subject than most people learn from your film. So, seeing that and being able to have those eyes, we're really fortunate.
Yeah. Arif, have some questions? No? He said it's a great film. It's beautifully done. A couple of drone shots I see ending up and during it. So, Parker, Corey, by all means, your films are waived. Any other films that you make into live screenings? We do 1-minute film festivals, and we do, of course, up to 15-minute, like we showed today. Yes, once you're in, we never let you go. So
we hope you don't let us go.
keep creating some beautiful stuff here, Bryant. What a beautiful person.
Yeah.
So with that said, thank you so much, and keep creating. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes. See you. Bye,
Bye.
Parker. Bye, Corey. And that was Parker and Corey brothers, Lester brothers, with what is it? Every Street. Let me make sure I give them credit there on the actual. Yes, Every Street SLC, Salt Lake City. Wow. That concludes our films for live screenings here at the Winter Park Public Library. We are now becoming live, and we're becoming virtual at the same time. So we're getting the kinks out, a couple of them that we're doing. We have a live audience today. We had Arif with us. Last month I was supposed to be here, and we had 2 people that were going to show up. This will grow in time. More and more people are getting out and coming to the library. So I'd like to first of all thank the library, Winter Park Public Library. I'd like to also thank the filmmakers that have submitted their films that want to share their stories, because this is what this is about. It's about sharing our stories. Our stories are what connect us. And if I'm going to piggyback on what Corey and Parker said, it is community. The sharing stories is community, and they should share a story with Every Street SLC. Our next festival, oh, I have to look this up, don't I? I don't have it in front of me. Our next festival is, it's on Saturdays. It's, yes, there we go, the 26th. It's it's the fourth Saturday of every month. It's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It is right here on Life Screening's Facebook page, and we also stream it on Banks Helfrich, which is my own Facebook page. With that said, thank you so much, and we will go out with something I'm pretty sure you probably already heard of. Bye, everybody.